Jai Siddharma, everyone. This is Sadhvi Siddhali Shree here with my spiritual teacher and guru, Acharya Shree Yogeesh, for the second episode of Acharya Shree's podcast. Acharya Shree is a respected enlightened one who has helped thousands of souls progress on their spiritual path and transform. Thank you for tuning in. Acharya Shree, how are you today?
I'm always in the bliss.
It's always kind of weird to ask you that, but I thought to ask you that.
That's good you asked.
So, Acharya Shree, in our first episode, we talked about the importance of spiritual mentorship and having a mentor who is actually real. So, to continue on this topic, how and where can we find such a spiritual mentor?
Yeah, it is really a good question because people have a hard time to find the spiritual mentor. Maybe they are here or maybe they are not here. And I cannot really tell you where to find it. But I can give you a few clues. And those clues, after hearing those clues, you can dig it out by yourself. A spiritual mentor or a spiritual master will not tell that he or she is a spiritual master. But if you have a clue, you might get it. One of the first clue is one of the oldest religion on this earth is a Samanic tradition, and now one of branch of the Samanic tradition is called Jain. In Jain system, there is for the spiritual path and spiritual progress is monks and nuns. In Jain religion, they have almost 12,000 monks and nuns right now. Among 1,000 Jain monks and nuns, there is a possibility one can be a spiritual mentor or spiritual master.
Just one.
Just one. It creates almost 12 possibilities, but it is, just hear me very well, it is just possibility, not guarantee. But at least there is a possibility. That is the first clue. Because first of all, you have to understand these monks and nuns, they are renounced. They have no attachment. They renounce their family, their wealth. And their life is for just spiritual progress and for others. Second clue I am going to give to you. There is one similar religion to Jain, is a Buddhist. Buddhist has same system, it is monks and nuns. They are renounced and they follow the spirituality. Buddhist monks and nuns are millions around the world. And most of Western Buddhist monks and nuns, they went little too far from the Buddha's teachings. In India, still they are close to Buddha's teaching. But there are millions around the world. So among 100,000s of monks and nuns, Buddhist monks and nuns, there create one possibility can be one master or one spiritual mentor. So few possibilities are there. Third religion is similar. It is called Catholicism. Catholic. Catholic, they have monks and nuns too. They may be not millions, but they are a lot of monks and nuns. There used to be a lot of one time. Sometimes, because monks and nuns, they are renounced. And when they are renounced, they have nothing else to do except spiritual progress. They pray a lot, they meditate a lot, and they want to find themselves a lot. So once in a while, like a Saint Francis kind of monk can be a master. It happened in the history, it can happen in the future too. This is the third clue. Fourth clue. Fourth clue is one religion, Judaism. They have a Hasidic monks. And Hasidic monks are not many. But there is a possibility there can be a one master. Fifth religion is very popular. But unfortunately, they don't have monks and nuns. They have no that idea at all. They are not renounced. In that religion, they call themselves Swami. It is Hinduism. Hinduism doesn't have monks and nuns, but they have Swamis. And there are millions of around the world. But among hundreds of thousands Swamis, there is a one possibility can be a one master. Possibility. These are the 5 clues I gave you. There is no 6th clue further. If you want to dig it out, how to find and where to find a spiritual mentor, you dig it out there. But once you meet the spiritual mentor or spiritual master, it will be your luckiest day. Why? Because your life going to be transformed. Even the master, the real master, the spiritual mentor, just look at you. Just a few seconds. It can transform your life. But if he or she really looks at you, people think, oh, he just look at me. Maybe his eyes are open. Maybe his eyes were towards me. That is not a look. I'm talking about look means he really, she really absorbs you. When a master, a mentor, a spiritual mentor absorbs a student, that student is not a student anymore. That student on the way of to become a spiritual guide or spiritual mentor is begin to sprout the hidden possibilities. All hidden possibility will wake up, and that person can be not only progressing his or her own path, is going to transform a lot of other people. So it is the best way to find out the real spiritual mentor or spiritual master. It's not easy to find, but if you try, if you at least, it is a discovery. And spiritual mentor will not teach you anything. It might share a little bit, but you will have your own self-discovery. And the self-discovery, when it happens, you just think about you have met a spiritual mentor or spiritual master.
Acharya Shree, you're mentioning, 1 out of 1,000 Jain monks and nuns, a few out of the thousands to millions of Buddhist monks and nuns, few swamis here and there, so forth. I mean, when you Google how to find a spiritual mentor, you're going to have millions of results. So are you supposed to travel ashram to ashram, monastery to monastery, follow different blogs and YouTube teachings or different podcasts? How are we going to find these few handful of gems that are out there in this world for the real guidance when you're just surrounded by thousands to millions that cannot guide you?
For the Google search is a very less possibility. The best thing is you travel. Travel monastery to monastery, ashram to ashram. Or you suddenly meet on the aeroplane, or on the train, or on the bus, or just walking on the ground. You never know. Sometimes they are walking around you. You don't see it.
Acharya Shree, may I interrupt? I remember when we were in Nepal with, your group of students, and someone from Nepal recognized you walking in the street and came up to you asking for a blessing, saying he was watching you on YouTube and now you're on his street, you're in his country. So it really is true. The master can be anywhere.
It can be anywhere, that is sure. Masters are available everywhere. It is just like you have to have a sharp eyes or a discovery kind of eyes that you can discover in. Otherwise, sometimes they are in front of you, don't see it. Buddha was walking everywhere. Many people missed him. Mahavira was there. Even his own disciple missed him sometime. And I mentioned last episode that Buddha's cousin, he was a monk, but he was jealous to him all the time. And he wanted to kill Buddha even. Look at, it is hard to find or hard to see it if person is not ready. If person is not ready, they cannot see it. Sometimes the gems, the real diamond is in your hands, but people think it is just a piece of stone if you don't know it. You have to have knowledge about it. You have to have feelings about it. You have to have some kind of realization about it. That is the way you will recognize. Otherwise, you cannot recognize the masters. It's difficult.
Acharya Shree, in your feelings and observation, what's the percentage of people, of truth seekers, that actually come across a master, but they are unable to recognize him or her?
I think over 90%, they have come across to the master, but they never recognize the master. It's a big number. So I think people, they don't have eyes to see. They need to have eyes, real eyes. I think they need to open their third eye. Then they can recognize.
What's your tip to help our viewers and our listeners to open up that third eye and to have that clarity so that they are able to recognize a real master when they come across one, if they come across one? Isn't it good karma to come across a master?
It is a good karma, but not necessary. It is like you will learn this life. Good karma is you have a little bit taste of it, and it went away. Like wind comes, it crashes you, touches you, and it is gone. It doesn't affect anything to you. Yeah, in order to realize that this is master, you have to close your eyes. You have to become a blind. When you see through these naked eyes, these two eyes are not going to recognize the master. Master can be recognized when they begin to see through the third eye. And third eye is not activated. It needs to be activated. Sometime in the presence of the master, it can be activated by itself. Even by chance, by mistake, you visited a master, it can be activated. And sometimes people are living with the master, it cannot be activated because they are not ready for it. Readiness is the most important thing.
Acharya Shree, you come across a lot of people, both that are seeking and not seeking. So can you describe what it's like for you? What are you doing when you meet a soul? Whether they're kind of awakened or not awakened, what are you doing to help them, especially in that first moment? Because it could be, they could be your student for the rest of their lives, or, you might be planting a seed for a future life. So I'm just curious, can you describe that moment of what you do and how you help a soul?
I just smile and look at them. Sometimes I say that, hey, what you are doing here, or what you are doing in this world, just come, have a cup of tea. That's what I will say. They get it or they don't get it. It is them. But I try to wake them up.
That was kind of too touching. I have no words to say in response because that's so powerful because the master works in the most simplest ways, but it's their whole being and their whole heart is totally there.
It has to be.
On the human level, this is what you do. You invite them to tea. You smile. On the soul level, an enlightened soul to this little soul. Can you describe that?
I just try to blow a big wind, big storm of detachment, storm of love, storm of compassion. This kind of storm, when I blow a little bit towards them, they begin to feel it. And they even will not be with me this life, but they will be affected. Soul level, their soul will not be lost again. Even they are still into their head. But one day they might come down from the head. And it is not a big journey. When Master sees you, it's not a big journey left. It is just head to heart. How long it is? 1 foot hardly. But that's what Master will do. You know what they will do? The Master, when they see the real student suddenly, they will crush their head. First thing. Not literally. And they bring them from head to heart. And that's what the spiritual journey begins. Spiritual mentor, they have a lot of job to do. And they are doing it. Wherever they are small numbers, but they affect the whole world. Wherever their energy goes here and there, to the moon, to the star, to the whole galaxy. It's very important to be a spiritual mentor and spiritual master. And master's duty is not to make a student. The master who is trying to make a big crowd, big students, is not a master. Master makes a student master. That's what master's duty is. Like a candle, one candle is lighted, you can light the another candle. That is master's duty. The master who is making a big number of students is not a master at all. A master is the master who makes a person master. That's what I will do.
Acharya Shree, you've mentioned in the last episode, there's many masters, but not enough disciples. But if you look at today's world, so many people are calling themselves spiritual. So when are the truth seekers going to come to you? When are the real students going to come to you? How are they going to find you?
I gave the clue already. So if they don't discover those clues and they don't dig it out, they're not going to find any master. They will be roaming around in the fake masters, among the fake masters, and they're never going to be awakened. They might momentarily, they will feel something because it's totally different, but after a few months they will find out it is not real for me. Reality is, once you meet the master, your life begins to transform within sometimes hour, within few days, you are totally different. You transform your life totally. It is up to them how they're going to find it. They have to search. Is it technology these days? It plays a big role. They can hear, they can look at, even they are far away, they can still feel it. There is a way to find it. Then just close your eyes and just think about it. You're hearing a podcast. And you're going to find it. Right?
Acharya Shree, Maten Vandami, Acharya Shree. And just for our listeners, Maten Vandami means, it means I bow by my head at your feet. And this is a Sanskrit saying. So this way the student is able to crush their ego and pay respects to their spiritual teacher. So Maten Vandami, Acharya Shree. And thank you all for listening in and tuning in to Acharya Shree's podcast. Please, and that's Chubby, our little puppy. He's saying hello. Please be sure to like and comment on this video and podcast, as well as find us on iTunes, on YouTube and Facebook, and be sure to follow us there. This way you stay up to date on Acharya Shree's episodes and receive the guidance that your heart and soul are truly seeking. I know what it's like from personal experience to be wandering among different teachers, and then suddenly you find the gem. And once you find that gem, you want to hold on to it as well as share it with the world. And so I think Acharya Shree, we've been doing YouTube videos for over 10 years now and sharing your message with all the truth seekers around the world. Why? Because when you change and you hear that inspiration and you see yourself grow in ways you've never experienced before, you want others who are seeking to experience that as well. So please, please, please take advantage of receiving Acharya Shree's guidance wherever you are at in the world. Technology is a blessing, and so continue to stay tuned. And in a couple weeks, you'll be getting another episode. So thank you very much. Jai Siddhartha.
Jai Siddhartha.